Kremlin denies interview request from freed U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich. $35 million Monet will lead Christie's for sale at New Asia HQ. Mark Zuckerberg shares Daniel Arsham sculpture of his wife. Kremlin denies interview request from freed U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich. $35 million Monet will lead Christie's for sale at New Asia HQ. Mark Zuckerberg shares Daniel Arsham sculpture of his wife. Peaches grown in Fukushima nuclear disaster zone go on sale at Harrods. Lost Crusader altar found in Jerusalem. A graffiti from the 6th century BC that reveals a lost temple of the Acropolis of Athens.
Amazon rejects plea to stop selling taxi roof signs as cab scam spreads across Canada. Bill Gates-backed startup creates butter from thin air. Study finds faces evolve to match names over time.
Overseas threats hit the Ohio city where Trump and Vance lied about Haitians eating pets. In the U.S., suspicious mail containing white powder sent to election offices in at least 16 states. Russian election interference efforts focus on the Harris and Walz campaign, as fake Kamala hit and run story is the work of Russian propaganda group, Microsoft says. Grandparents' educational attainment is associated with grandchildren's epigenetic-based age acceleration in the National Growth and Health Study. Venezuelan news agency turns to AI-generated newscasts to protect journalists. Blake Lively's hair care line is finally here after 7 years in the making. Doesn't include conditioner.
A diagram of a thermonuclear warhead, classified as a top national secret, was discovered in a logo image. NVIDIA's AI GPUs are cheaper to rent in China than in the US, $6 per hour for 8 NVIDIA A100 GPUs. White men who have been mistreated at work are more likely to notice and report harassment, claims a new research.
South Korean soccer player Son Jun-ho says, Chinese authorities forced match-fixing confession out of him. British policing minister's bag stolen at a police conference in Warwickshire. TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival halts Russians at war documentary screening, after threats to safety.
Smoking before the age of 18 increases the risk of developing respiratory symptoms in your 20s, study finds. New study finds increase in exposures to synthetic THC among young children, teens, and adults. In Germany, drug commissioner calls for special shops for cigarette sales.
Data show individuals with type 2 diabetes are at higher risk of asthma, and vice versa. Trojan condoms contain toxic forever chemicals linked to cancer, lawsuit claims. Neuralink's first patient names his brain chip, learns new languages.
OpenAI fundraising set to vault startup's valuation to $150 billion. Google's AI note-taking app Notebook LM can now explain complex topics to you out loud. New Pixel acoustic attack leaks secrets from LCD screen noise. Tor node operators raided by German police. Investor enthusiasm lags for Apple's AI-powered iPhone 16 series debut. iOS 18, iPadOS 18, watchOS 11, and macOS Sequoia release date set for September 16th and 17th, 2024, changing per territories. iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max are now available, equipped with a 18 Pro and iPhone's largest display ever. The AirPods Pro 2 will soon double as hearing aids. Apple announces AirPods 4 in 2 new models with H2 chip, USB-C, improved audio. Huawei launches $2,800 trifold phone hours after Apple debuts iPhone 16. And reportedly, Huawei racks up 3 million pre-orders for Mate XT trifold phone before Apple's iPhone 16 reveal.
Google teams with the Internet Archive to revive cache feature. Adobe is entering the AI video space with new Firefly video model. In the U.S., Senate leaders ask FTC to investigate AI content summaries as anti-competitive.
Port of Seattle confirmed that Resider ransomware gang was behind the August attack. Ford seeks patent for tech that listens to driver conversations to serve ads. Apple confirms 8 GB RAM in iPhone 16, 16 Plus for Apple Intelligence, gaming.
Sam Altman told OpenAI staff the company's nonprofit corporate structure will change next year. Even Facebook couldn't compete with Google, former ad chief says. Aramco Digital and Grok announced progress in building the world's largest inferencing data center in Saudi Arabia.
Iranian cyber group, Oil Rig, targets Iraqi government in sophisticated malware attack and reportedly, charges coming in alleged Iranian hack and leak attack on Trump campaign. New Android malware, Agina, banker, steals financial data and bypasses 2FA via Telegram. A new Vo1D malware infects 1.3 million Android-based TV boxes worldwide. Spotify looks to pay video creators to put shows on platform. Elon Musk calls Australian government fascists over misinformation law. 3 days ago, it has been announced as Australia to set minimum age for children using social media. Telegram starts cooperation with French police, claimed by the media.
Chinese chip making shows progress with new EUV patent from domestic lithography champion. Summit supercomputer set to be retired in November 2024. It was the world's most powerful back in 2018 through 19. Google's ad tech empire may be $95 billion and too big to sell, analysts warn Department of Justice.
HBO's Harry Potter series opens casting call for Harry, Ron and Hermione. With "We are committed to inclusive, diverse casting." Shogun shatters Emmy records with historic 14 wins at Creative Arts Awards. James Earl Jones, renowned actor and voice of Darth Vader, dies at 93.
In South Africa, SABC now requiring TV licenses for smartwatches. 9 months ago, SABC now demanding TV license fees for computers, laptops. Internet replaces TV as UK's most popular news source for first time. Princess Kate has finished chemotherapy and says she is focused on staying cancer-free. Viking Age toy carved from volcanic rock discovered in Iceland. The Crow reboot bombs with critics, fails to soar after rotten score debut.
Mr. Beast, Amazon sued by contestants on Beast Games competition show, with allegations including sexual harassment and chronic mistreatment. UEFA warns England could face Euros ban over Sir Keir Starmer's plans for football regulator. The Sims movie from Margot Robbie set to include pools without ladders and other lore.
The Goonies reportedly returning for sequel with original cast. Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter shut out of Country Music Award nominations. Fire Festival 2 announced with $1.1 million ticket package option.
Roblox builds open-source 3D AI model, adds tech for faster game loading. Shailene Woodley to star as Janis Joplin in biopic backed by California tax credit. Research shows that campaigns promoting video content subscriptions by saying piracy is a crime, so watch it legally are counterproductive.
Amazon is allowing Audible narrators to clone themselves with AI. Legal battle over Peter Cushing's image in Star Wars to go to trial, judge rules. Variety comments as if Taylor Swift doesn't endorse Kamala Harris, she'd be entering a new era. Sean Diddy Combs arrested after grand jury indictment. Beetlejuice 2 breaks box office records. As it's revealed, the Tim Burton sequel almost went straight to streaming. Bloomberg reports that Disney will introduce 4 new, always-on channels to Disney Plus in late 2024. Hallostream, hits and heroes, throwbacks and real life. Boiler Room partners with Champion to celebrate dance cultures from around the world. Mr. Beast strikes Amazon deal for biggest competition series in TV history. PSG reportedly still owes millions to Kylian Mbappé for unpaid wages and bonuses.
Netflix in talks with BuzzFeed on Hot Ones live show. Bloomberg says Google's free TV channels for Google Android TV to now be called FreePlay. Crunchyroll to stream Dragon Ball Daima anime on October 11th.
1 in 10 people with dementia experience suicidal thoughts, finds study. Air pollution exposure in infancy may limit economic mobility in adulthood. Scientists invent nanorobots that can repair brain aneurysms.
Colorblind people tend to be less picky eaters, new research shows. Study identifies brain regions that are almost twice as large in people living with depression. Low in carb, high in fat diets boost diabetes risk.
An antibody discovered at UT Austin could protect against all COVID variants. Outdoor nighttime light exposure. The light pollution is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Astronomers witness dark matter go rogue in epic galaxy cluster collision. 1930s famine continued to affect Ukrainian health 7 decades later. To kill mammoths in the Ice Age, people used planted pikes, not throwing spears, researchers say.
Brain implant can now let man control Amazon's Alexa with his thoughts. Scientists use magnetic nanotech to safely rewarm frozen tissues for transplant. Research shows that human children learn to play house and pretend surprisingly early. As we learn to pretend surprisingly early in our lives, study shows.
Online dating caused a rise in U.S. income inequality, research paper shows. Prolonged unemployment is associated with control loss and personal as well as social disengagement. Catching up on sleep on weekends may lower heart disease risk by up to 20%.
A landslide in a remote part of Greenland caused a 200-meter, 650-foot mega tsunami that sloshed back and forth across a fjord for 9 days, generating vibrations throughout Earth, according to a new study. Amazon rainforest becomes Earth's largest greenhouse gas emitter.
Exposure to air pollution during pregnancy increases postpartum depression risk for at least 3 years, study finds. Study claims for Afghanistan veterans, anger, not PTSD, is the main problem. High doses of ADHD drugs linked to a greater risk of psychosis.
Obesity drug black market thrives online in South Korea. 1 year ago, it has been reported as nutraceuticals growth in South Korea driven by body fat reduction, healthy aging needs. Reportedly, weight loss drug Wegovy coming to Korea in October 2024. In the UK, ban on junk food ads before 9 p.m. to come into force next year, in bid to tackle childhood obesity. IG Nobel Prize goes to scientists who discovered breathing mammals.
Sweden sees skin cancer decline in under 50s for first time. As per a study, human brains create 3 copies of every memory we make. Higher BPA levels in pregnant mothers linked to autism in sons.
Body Roundness Index (BRI) has been proposed as a non-invasive screening tool for mortality risk estimation, an innovative concept that could be incorporated into public health practice, aiming to measure obesity. YouTube will begin limiting access to fitness videos for European teens, as YouTube to restrict teenagers' exposure to videos about weight and fitness.
Musk's Neuralink gets FDA's breakthrough device tag for blind sight implant. Scientists discover third state between living and dying that could redefine death. Scientists discover new evidence Earth may once have had a ring like Saturn.
1 million are now dead or injured in the Russia and Ukraine war. Hezbollah is hit by a wave of exploding pagas that killed at least 9 people and injured thousands, and Hezbollah vows retaliation against Israel for deadly pager explosions. In the U.S., Senate Republicans again block legislation to guarantee women's rights to IVF. Significant link found between heme iron, found in red meat and other animal products, and type 2 diabetes risk. Mobile phones are not linked to brain cancer, according to a major review of 28 years of research. The brain compresses and organizes the events of the day into less than 1 second while sleeping. COVID lockdowns prematurely aged girls' brains more than boys', study suggests. In the U.S., tube tying rose after Roe v. Wade was overturned, especially in states that ban abortion, study shows. Chemicals in common personal care products like soap and makeup could cause girls to start puberty early.
Storm Boris kills 15 as floods continue to ravage Central Europe. Cuba slashes size of daily bread ration as ingredients run thin. The Lancet announced that more than 39 million deaths from antibiotic-resistant infections estimated between 2024 and 2050 suggests first global analysis, as drug-resistant bacteria deaths projected to rise 70% by 2050. Researchers warn methane emissions rising faster than ever. Father's diet before conception can impact children's metabolic health. Study finds China to raise retirement age to avert pensions crisis. UNICEF shocked by unimaginable horror of Malaysia mass child abuse. Recently it has been announced by Inspector General of Police as 402 rescued victims from welfare homes are children of GISB, Global Ikhwan Services and business members. More than 260 women sexually assaulted during Congo prison break, UN report shows. Harvey Weinstein indicted again in New York after conviction overturned.
iOS 18.1 with Apple Intelligence launches in October, more languages rolling out over time. New open-source AI leader Reflection 70 BS performance questioned, accused of fraud. Miami-based AI bookkeeping startup, finally, has raised another big round, with $200 million in equity and debt. California Governor Gavin Newsom signs AI bills that give performers greater protections and control over their likenesses, limit use of election deepfakes. Google will begin flagging AI-generated images in search later this year, as AI-generated and edited images will soon be labeled in Google search results. Snap's new AI feature lets you create Snapchat lenses by simply describing them. Google Illuminate generates audio with 2 AI-generated voices in conversation, discussing the key points of select papers. Data claims self-driving cars are safer than human drivers.
White House extracts voluntary commitments from AI vendors to combat deepfake nudes. Salesforce unleashes an army of artificial intelligence bots with industry's AI.
OpenAI launches new AI model family O1 claiming PhD-level performance. As OpenAI announces a new AI model codenamed Strawberry that solves difficult problems step by step. Oracle will use 3 small nuclear reactors to power new 1 gigawatt AI data center. Google's Gemini Live is now free for all Android users.
Meta fed its AI on almost everything you've posted publicly since 2007. Google's AI model faces probe over data use in EU, as Ireland's watchdog launches inquiry into Google's AI data practices in Europe. AI-generated junk science is flooding Google Scholar, study claims.
Apple seeks dismissal of its NSO Group lawsuit, citing risk of exposing vital security information. 2 years ago, Apple sues NSO Group to curb the abuse of state-sponsored spyware. Alternative app stores will be allowed on Apple iPad in the EU from September 16th. Researchers find Apple Vision Pro's eye tracking exposed what users type.
Apple brings activation lock to iPhone parts with iOS 18. Google Wallet will let you make digital IDs with U.S. passports. 3 more state IDs coming. Microsoft eyes new Windows security layer to prevent CrowdStrike repeat.
Australia to ban children as old as 16 from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, others. First 90 minutes of Silent Hill 2 remake appear online. Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen leakers face legal action from U.S. court for the first time.
Progress Software issues patch for vulnerability in Loadmaster and MT Hypervisor. In payment gateway Slim CD data breach, 1.7 million users impacted. Chinese APT group Mustang Panda exploits Visual Studio Code in Southeast Asian cyber attacks. Thai drone targets military and satellite industries in Taiwan. Blind Eagle targets Colombian insurance sector with customized Quasar RAT. New Android spy agent campaign steals crypto credentials via image recognition. New Rambo attack uses RAM radio signals to steal data from air-gapped networks, as researchers snoop data from air-gapped PCs' RAM sticks by monitoring EM radiation from 23 feet away. US offers $10 million for info on Russian cadet Blizzard hackers behind major attacks. iPhone 16 won't include stickers in the box. Google tests desktop windowing for Android tablets. Meta to start using public posts on Facebook, Instagram in UK to train AI. United Airlines signs deal with Starlink for free in-flight Wi-Fi.
Unity has canceled its controversial runtime fee. PS5 system update adds Welcome Hub. Party share, personalized 3D audio profiles, adaptive controller charging, and more. Consumer watchdogs call for EU action on in-game digital money. Co-host to shut down at end of 2024. Skype founders VC firm raises $1.24 billion to back European tech startups. Tether ventures into agriculture with $100 million investment in South America's Atacama Grow.
During IGCF 2024, it has been claimed deepfakes will cost the world over $10 trillion by 2025. Deepfake pornography ring linked to South Korean university uncovered after years-long sting, and reports of deepfakes at Korean schools surged to 434 in span of 2 weeks. Scammers create Tim Cook deepfake amid iPhone 16 live stream for crypto fraud.
In the US, Department of Justice claims Google has trifecta of monopolies on day 1 of ad tech trial. Oracle and Amazon Web Services Incorporated, AWS, announced the launch of Oracle Database at AWS, a new offering that allows customers to access Oracle Autonomous Database on dedicated infrastructure and Oracle Exadata database service within AWS. Korea scraps plan to regulate Google, Apple, Kakao as monopolies, drawing criticism. 3 months ago, Kakao founder Kim Beam-soo arrested for SM Entertainment stock manipulation.
TSMC's $65 billion Arizona facility can now match Taiwan production yields according to early trials. AMD announces unified UDNA GPU architecture, bringing RDNA and CDNA together to take on NVIDIA's CUDA ecosystem. The first nuclear clock will test if fundamental constants change.
Temu and SAP refute claims of data breach made on hacker forums. Alibaba cloud servers being carefully dried after firefighter drenching last week, following fire incident in Singapore Availability Zone C data center. Indonesia's go-to to use cloud services from Alibaba Cloud in a 5-year deal.
Meta faces hefty EU antitrust fine over classified ads practices. Google wins challenge against $1.66 billion EU antitrust fine. EU picks tech enforcer who helped write its social media rules. 2 days ago, EU tech enforcer and Musk antagonist Thierry Breton quits.
Australian police infiltrate encrypted messaging app Ghost and arrest dozens. RCS texts on the iPhone aren't encrypted now, but that could change. Uber will now verify riders as a safety measure for drivers.
Snap unveils latest AR glasses despite ongoing struggles in core ad business, as Snap's extremely large spectacles bring impressive AR to developers at $99 a month. EssilorLuxottica and Meta announce long-term partnership to collaborate into the next decade to develop multi-generational smart eyewear products. Instagram makes teen accounts private as pressure mounts on the app to protect children.
Sony's PS5 controllers get a $5 increase. Apple brings sleep apnea detection to the Watch Series 10. MIT proposes personhood credentials.
Microsoft-led team achieves record for reliable 12 logical qubits in quantum computing. China-led team seeking elusive quantum of gravity finds first evidence of particles behaving like gravitons, the particle that gives rise to gravity. Japan to begin developing zettaflops scale supercomputer in 2025.
City of Columbus sues man after he discloses severity of ransomware attack. AnandTech, mainstay of computer hardware reviews, closes after 27 years. Child sexual abuse content was found in the dataset LEON5B, which is also used for Stable Diffusion, and the developer released ReLeON5B, which removed the links. Intel stock soars late on foundry plans. Amazon AI deal after jumping on $3 billion federal funding. Intel reportedly lost PlayStation 6 chip design contract to AMD in 2022, the $30 billion deal. Apple rolls out iOS 18, iPadOS 18, watchOS 11, tvOS 18, macOS Sequoia and visionOS 2. New Zelda game doesn't have Link as the main playable character, as Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom gameplay leaks online. iPhone SE 4 to complete Apple's switch to OLED across iPhone lineup. Qua claims, next year's upgrade to 12GB RAM will be limited to iPhone 17 Pro Max. Meta's large language model Llama reaches 350 million downloads. Spintronics enables energy harvesting from weak radio waves, used in wireless communication.
Microsoft unveils multiplayer AI collaboration tool for work, trying to overcome Copilot qualms, as Copilot Pages is Microsoft's new collaborative AI playground for businesses. Omnipresent AI cameras will ensure good behavior, says Larry Ellison. China proposes mandatory red flags placed on all AI-generated content posted online.
Cloudflare have found that 20% of all internet connections are abruptly closed before any useful data can be exchanged. Apple leaks new Mac Mini with 5 USB-C ports. Blue Sky reaches 10 million users.
TikTok faces skeptical judges in court fight over looming national ban. Meta bans RT. Days after U.S. accused Russian outlet of disinformation. Amazon tells employees to return to office 5 days a week. Sextortion scams now use your cheating spouse's name as a lure.
Microsoft has scrapped Edge's big UI refresh with rounded tabs. Slack brings agents, purpose-built AI, and CRM data into one work operating system. As Slack now lets users add AI agents from Asana, Cohere, Adobe, Workday, and more. IBM wins 40